Hello, Good Shepherd and Saints Francis and John. I'm Father Lin Nguyen with Saint Francis and John. This week we prepare with the Gospel message for the third Sunday of Easter. So happy Easter! A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The two disciples recounted what had taken place on the way, and how Jesus was made known to them in the breaking of bread. While they were still speaking about this, he stood in their midst and said to them, "Peace be with you." But they were startled and terrified and thought that they were seeing a ghost. Then he said to them, "Why are you troubled? And why do questions arise in your hearts? Look at my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Touch me and see, because a ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you can see I have." And as he said this, he showed them his hands and his feet. While they were still incredulous for joy and were amazed, he asked them, "Have you anything here to eat?" They gave him a piece of baked fish. He took it and ate in front of them. He said to them, "This are my word that I spoke to you while I was still with you, that everything written about me in the law of Moses and in the prophets and Psalms must be fulfilled." Then he opened their minds to understand the scriptures. And he said to them, "Thus it is written that the Christ would suffer and rise from the dead on the third day, and that repentance for the forgiveness of sins would be preached in his name to all the nations, beginning from Jerusalem. You are witnesses of these things." Friend, this is one of my favorite Gospels. There is something about it that is so ordinary and daily living within our lives. I think sometimes we approach Jesus in the gospel with so much religiosity that we are not seeing the purity and simplicity of who he really is about. In other words, when we place Christ so high on the pedestal that is not reachable, while we might be in the danger of placing Christ as a pure myth. The description in this gospel lets us witness the real experiences of the disciples that saw Jesus with their own eyes after his resurrection. I remember when I saw Saints Mother Teresa and Pope St. John Paul II. Prior to seeing them in person, all the images of them in the newspaper or television were purely portraits of photos that had no life in them. When seeing them in person and shaking their hands, I could feel their energy and sincerity of love and holiness. I can remember and feel their energy to this day after many years later. My favorite line in this gospel is when, after showing his nails marks on his hands, Jesus asked his disciples, "Have you anything here to eat?" It is purely an ordinary statement, and is so real in that we use it daily in our lives. In a similar way, at our celebration of the Eucharist, when Jesus invites us, "Take this, all of you, and eat this. This is my body." We know and believe that it is his real body and blood. St. Luke wants to communicate with us that the awesome might of the resurrected Jesus is a real experience witnessed by the disciples and is a concrete historical fact. Our faith is drawn from this reality of the disciple witness, while the modern world downplays this true reality to a simple mythological event. So let us approach our daily encounter with the same spirit of the realness and sincerity of love with our neighbors, for we are the resurrected people in Jesus Christ. And here is a family activity. Sit with your family and have a snack together. Knock, knock, knock. Someone needs to answer your door. A family member opened the door and Jesus is standing there. Thank goodness you recognize him. What do you do? What do you say? Do you ask him to come in? Do you ask him to visit with your family and join you in having a snack? Do you ask him why he came to your home? With your family, decide how you would behave and the things you would say. And now, how would the visit have been the same or different if it was someone other than Jesus who has knocked at your family's door? God bless and see you in Christ.